right, welcome everybody. Today is going to be a great day because we're going to play some of the content that we experienced while we were over in London today with British Offsite. And Paul Cashman's going to join me, so keep your seat, man. I'm telling you, if you haven't met Paul, he is a reckon to be forced with. So, Shaun Weston, British Offsite Managing Director, Nick Coubray, CEO of Howick LTD, will join us today for an on-location conversation about what the future holds for steel frame construction. Weston Homes is a real estate property developer currently building Abbey Quay, a $350 million residential-led mixed-use development in Barking, East London. In partnership with British Offsite, Weston Homes has developed a proprietary system using offsite panelized construction to build several high-rise multifamily buildings with sweeping views of the London skyline. And British Offsite is set to open a fully automated panelized factory to address this expanding market. Today, we're going to hear how this real estate developer is replacing what notoriously has been known for as a rework process and industry by investing in planning, designing, and automation. And we are also welcoming Paul Cashman, BDM at British Offsite Limited, to help us wrap up today's conversation as well. All of this and these conversations is part of an ongoing sponsored event by Howick LTD and their private event, Steel Horizons, with a focus on the future of constructions. This was not a paid-for show. This is not a paid-for thing to put on. The content is that good, and we're going to share it with everybody because everybody needs to see what's happening. Collaboration is the way forward, and we cannot do that without our other sponsors as well. Forward Solutions Group for allowing us to deliver these examples of construction innovation. So big shout out to Ben Hershey at forwardsolutionsgroup.com. They are successfully driving companies to succeed where others have failed. If you want to learn more about their recent acquisition, ModuCore, an ERP solution for offsite manufacturing, reach out to Ben Hershey, Ben at forwardsolutionsgroup.com. And today's featured show, again, is from Howick, who has a long history of innovation in cold form steel manufacturing and produces innovative precision roll forming technology for customers throughout the U.S. and the world, to include today's show, British Offsite. You want to check out their machine buyer's guide for offsite, modular construction, and fast build construction with light steel for framing, HowickLTD.com. All right, so without further ado, I got to bring him in. I got to introduce this individual, Paul Cashman, to the show. Paul, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Dave. We're good. We're good. And how are you guys? Where are you at the moment?
Oh, man, I am in Pennsylvania, right outside of Pittsburgh, PA. How about yourself? You in England?
Yeah, we're in England. We're in Takeley in Essex, and we're at the Weston Group headquarters.
Well, very cool. And you know what? You were just giving me a little bit of a view of that room you're in. I'm not going to talk about those cabinets behind there, but I can't wait to come back and enjoy some time with you there. Paul, why don't you just take 2 seconds, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then we're going to play this 13-minute interview video, and then we'll wrap up with a conversation at the end. Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Yeah, well, my name is Paul Cashman. I'm the Business Development Manager here at British Offsite. At British Offsite, we manufacture a light gauge steel closed panel system that's used primarily on reinforced concrete frame buildings, and it's all based around our Howick machine printing off a 200mm framework that is closed up with board and insulation, and we changed the sequence of builds. We're going a new way of building to the UK and to Europe, and we're going to sort of change the way things are done. You've got the modular at one end, you've got the frame guys at the other. We're bang in the middle, so you get the flexibility and the creativity with what we do, and you're not governed by the homogeneous modular side or just the framework itself. So we bring something else to the table, and when we automate it, we'll be making a panel in about 15 minutes.
Well, you make a panel in 15 minutes, and you set it in about that same amount of time as well. I think the uni-wall system that you guys have come up with is going to be great. We're going to have a whole nother show where we do an entire site walkthrough on a multi-story mid-rise building that you're currently building. I think the tallest one's 28 stories, 29 stories.
29 stories, yeah. It was great to take you guys around that site. And we think you gained a lot of knowledge and certainly some good video to play back to your guys.
Yeah, and this video has Shaun in it. And what's so great about Shaun is what is he, third generation, right, of Weston?
Third generation of Weston. And he's come up with this idea with his father, Bob Weston. And they've really sort of backed their ideas and concepts. No one else made anything like this. It's a totally unique product. They've developed it over the last 18 months. We're now taking it to market. And it's already been installed into just over 1,000 properties thus far.
1,000 properties. I'm telling you, wait until you see this video and you understand what this system does. There's nothing like it on the market I have seen yet. So looking forward to that. All right, Paul, why don't we hop into this conversation? We'll let this video play, and then afterwards we'll come back and we'll wrap it up. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a good plan.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, this is Dave Cooper, and we are at British Offsite in England, and sitting with me is Nick Coubray from Howick, CEO, and also Shaun Weston from British Offsite. Shaun, thank you for hosting us here today.
No, it's great to have you down. Thank you for coming all the way over here to see our little operation.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased that we could get out on site today and show you what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an amazing operation. I mean, this is only a small part of what's to come, and I'm super excited for you. Nick, let's start off with you, though. You know, we talk about Howick. Your machines are all over the world. They're used everywhere. How are you seeing your machines advance construction, advance modern methods of construction, advancing prefab, whatever we want to call it?
Yeah, so we've always seen them as a tool. So whether you're building a house or whether you're going full automation, we can fit in between somewhere there. So the idea is that we give people accuracy and consistency and control of the process. So rather than just buying in lengths and cutting it by hand and relying on people, we can actually automate that process. And that process that we do, which is the components,
Right.
then allows you to kind of automate the frame. And from the frame, then you can automate everything else if you want to go that far. So you can go simple, or you can go super complex, or you can go somewhere in the middle, which is where the sort of sweet spot is at the moment.
Right. And so when the framing process, your machine actually takes in data and builds walls in sections already pre-cut to accuracy.
So we take the panel and then we make it in sequence, ready for assembly. So your typical idea is it will come straight off the machine, straight into an assembly process, rather than into a big stack of parts that you then have to sort through. Right. So from that CAD model, which people always have the CAD model because the architects draw a CAD model, the next step is transferring that model into a machine design model and then feeding it into the line.
And how about yourself, Shaun? So you guys are using Howick machines on your manufacturing floor. You're going to be using it in the new manufacturing facility that's getting ready to open. We'll touch on that in a little bit. When you came into Weston Homes with British Offsite, what made you say, you know, I think we can build it better? What made you say, I think we can do things to the next level with higher efficiency, higher safety, better quality control, and healthier living for the occupants?
Well, I think as a developer, you know, you're constantly looking for ways to be more productive, improve your quality, and you know, traditionally we have a stick-built SFS system. That's something which is, you know, very, very well used on British construction sites, and really it's for us, you know, seeing that come together in a, you know, much more simplified process by the use of machinery like the Howick, and then actually using that as a platform to really sort of carry that forwards and go from a steel frame to a closed panel system to a fully dressed panel system and deliver more and more efficiency into a build process.
Right, into the build process. To the point where behind us, and we did a walkthrough and we're going to share that with everybody, was kind of the prototyping of your new system. And it's been so successful that you're getting ready to build, right, 137,000 square foot manufacturing facility, for the most part fully automated.
Yeah, so yeah, like you say, you know, we've come from Weston Homes, and actually we had a product before we had British Offsite, and actually we felt that the product had so much potential we needed a platform to grow that from. So we incorporated British Offsite, and then we've developed this production process you can see behind us. And this was only ever intended as a kind of a live prototyping environment. and a lot of the machinery we designed ourselves, work with local engineering companies to gradually improve that production process. And actually we found ourselves, despite the fact it was a prototype production line, we were in a position to start sort of really scaling up. And actually in our first 12 months of true production, we delivered 450 new homes using that methodology. And now we've been running for 18 months. We're probably close to cracking 1,000, which will be a big milestone for us. We'll get the champagne out. But you know, that's allowed us to sort of progressively improve that production process, flush any grit out of it, make sure that the processes are really good, the staff are well trained, you know, build a good culture, so that when you go into a bigger production facility, you're bringing all the good habits with you, rather than going straight into that and then having to figure it out along the way.
Right.
So it's been a progressive process for us, and we're really ready for the next step now. We can't wait to get in the new factory.
So we're getting into the automation. I'm going to go back to you on this, Nick, as well. Your framing process is a key component. Your cut machine, your Howick machine for the framing process is a super key component to everything that you guys do. And to get the precision and accuracy you need on site, you can't do it without his machine, can you?
No, yeah, absolutely underpins everything we do is actually the Howick machine and the light gauge steel, the click together system and the precision.
Yeah, and what's your thoughts on what you're seeing happening here with the machines you guys have developed over the years?
Yeah, it's really impressive to see people actually driving it and taking it to that next level.
Yeah.
So when you think of it, as you were just saying before, the framing is really the skeleton everything's built on.
Right.
And we're a small part of that picture, and we'd like to sort of work with people to figure out what else can we do with the framing that then allows that next step to be easier and that next step to be easier again. So
yeah, and that's it. It's being part of a team, right? When you work with suppliers, with vendors, with equipment suppliers, they essentially become part of your Weston team or your British Offsite team, don't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, and as we go into the new factory, the level of automation which we're bringing in, me and Nick were downstairs nerding out over a panel and some of the little details we might want to change to make sure that the automation works properly. And actually that kind of collaboration together and make sure that you're delivering something which just works properly.
There is nerds in the construction industry for sure, and they just proved that. One of the most cool things that I've done in a while was a virtual walkthrough. We were doing that earlier. So let's talk about construction tech and how you're looking to, both of you, bring this into the industry and what's going on. We'll start with you, Shaun, because the factory's not even built, and we did a virtual walkthrough as if you're in the factory.
No, I think when you want to achieve world-class manufacturing standards, you have to use world-class techniques, and you know, things like the digital twin, which allows us to make sure that we're deploying lean principles right in the core of the manufacturing process, right from day one, to make sure that there's no waste, reducing non-added value labour. You know, the digital twin and the VR, I was worried it would be a bit of a gimmick, to be honest, but actually it's a really, really useful tool. And right now we're on factory layout, and we'll build more and more and more detail into the model as we go. It allows us to make sure that it's right first time.
Yeah. And Nick, how about yourself, you know, and Howick? What does the future of tech look like for you?
yeah, we've got a good platform that we can build on, and there's all sorts of things like we were just talking before about the potential of the non-value added labour. How can we get rid of all that? And it might be something as simple as punching a different hole, or maybe it's a different section, or whatever it is, but it's that whole process of engaging with customers and the guys on site as well, to actually go to the sites and see there. So that's going to drive construction. The problem we've had is everybody backloads it with lots of labour rather than front load it with actually some thought and design. And that's what we're seeing here, is there's some actual real thought gone into what is the process of putting the building up. Not what is the cheapest way I can do it, what is the best, most efficient way I can do it, which happens to then make it a cheaper construction process. And that's what we're starting to see. And you've got to work with people like Shaun here to make that happen, because you know, if people are not interested in driving it forward, it's not going to happen.
You know, it's very true. And Shaun, with your system as well, the way you developed it, I mean, you can start after the fact if you had to on somebody's high-rise building, for instance, but it's definitely not the most efficient way to do it.
No. And the earlier you can get in the design process, absolutely the better. You know, Nick touches on something there that's really, really important, is making sure that the quality of the design up front. Actually, typical builder, you know, we first started the system and, right, we need more product out. So what do? You put more labour effectively in production. And actually it's taken us a long time to realise that actually we shouldn't invest money down there. We should invest money in time in the design.
That's right.
And eliminating some of the waste. You know, every time you have to rework something, construction industry is a rework industry, and really you want to eliminate that and improve the culture right from the start. So absolutely, investing time in design, making sure that we're able to transition people from the traditionally designed projects into MMC without having to re-engineer them. It takes a really, really top-notch design team up front.
It does, and it takes that thinking up front to do it. And you put the proper planning in up front. We see this all around the world. The people that are embracing, Howick machines, and offsite technology, that the savings is in the upfront cost of the design, right? It doesn't make sense that we have change orders anymore. It blows my mind that we still build something and go, oh, well, we missed that. When we're sending autonomous vehicles to Mars and back with nobody in it, but we can't build a building or a house. So I 100% agree. And Nick, you're absolutely right. Like, if we could change the mentality of how people think of their buildings and put that time and planning in up front, it'd be a huge change across the globe quickly. Definitely. So, all right, we're here because of Howick is putting on an event, Steel Horizon. And what I love about this event is you're bringing people in from all over the world. British Offsite, right? We got people coming in from Poland, people coming in from the United States to learn, and talk about how do we advance this industry. You want to talk a little bit more about it, Nick?
Yeah, well, the whole idea behind it is really to get people to come and sit down and discuss things and open their eyes to, we've got some great architects and some automation people, and there's lots of things going on there that it's not really about conferences and selling things. It's about making people come together and actually think that, okay, you're doing that, I'm doing that. Maybe we can put these 2 or 3 things together and then come out with a better solution that everybody can use. So it's all about information sharing and knowledge and just generally having a chat with people from the industry who want to move forward together. And it's one thing I think we'll find is a lot of the people coming are there because they want to move forward. It's not like a normal conference where you go to and people come and they just are coming to sit on a seat and be told something. We want everybody to move together because, as we were talking about before, it's all a kit of parts. And most people can go out and get that kit of parts. It's how you put it together that really counts. And this is where we get to the ideas of cost certainty for buildings. So rather than reworks and things blowing out, we can give a pretty certain cost that, hey, it's going to be this within this ballpark, and it's always going to be that. And that's what we're trying to drive, that thinking.
Well, it's the collaboration. It's the not being out on an island by yourself. I mean, we sit there and take a look at it. British Offsite, Weston Homes, Shaun, you guys are doing a lot of high-rise, big projects, but yet you're willing to share what you're doing. And I think that's super important because, other people are out there trying to do things better as well. And there's all great ideas to do. And you guys are willing to share your ideas, have us in your manufacturer and sit down with me. Let me film anything I want to film, right? But have a good time at it because it's all about advancing the industry and advancing how we build.
No, and I think it's actually very, very brave of Howick to try and pull together all these people throughout the industry together and sort of foster that thought leadership about the right ways to take it forwards. Generally speaking, construction can be a little adversarial, a little closed-minded, and actually we wouldn't necessarily be going outwards to collaborate with these other developers and effectively our competition. So actually having some people like Howick, like Nick, say, no, that's not the right thing to do, let's get together, is really refreshing.
Nick's corralling us.
He is.
Bringing us together. Well, that's what it's all about. So listen, Nick, I appreciate you having us out here to talk about Steel Horizons and bring us to all these amazing manufacturing facilities and the people that are using the Howick machines. And Shaun, the way you opened up the door in the high-rise buildings, wait till you see these videos. You guys are gonna love it. And we even went through the production process. And I heard them coming back for the grand opening of the new facility.
Absolutely,
right,
yeah.
Which is gonna be quite amazing as well. So thank you.
I hope you got a taste of champagne.
I got only the good stuff. All right, everybody, that's it. My name is Dave Cooper Live, and we are in England. And right now we are in British Offsite's manufacturing facility, and we're here with Howick for Steel Horizons. We'll see you next time. All right, Mr. Paul Kashman. Listen, how awesome was that interview, first of all? Everybody coming together, everybody, sitting down at a table in the event. You were at the event. Kind of sum it up. It wasn't a sales pitch.
I think Shaun summed it up very well in that the collaboration and the bringing together of the industry by Howick and Nick, it was a brave thing to do, a very smart thing to do. and I think everybody wins. Everybody learns a little bit more, and how to progress the use of the Howick machines to improve the standards of manufacturing in the MMC arena, and bring in new ideas and concepts to ideas that we never even considered originally. And it was great, and it brought a few suppliers to us as well. So it was good in that respect. And I think in terms of bringing those people together, we all advance, and if we can all advance, particularly from that design point of view, and move forward, we manufacture quicker, better, less waste, and at the end of the day, that brings us quicker dry envelopes and quicker builds.
Yeah, and puts people in housing much faster as well. And I think with these events, and we host private events quite often, and it is amazing when you put a bunch of executives and leadership teams in a room from different companies together to have a conversation, just how much in common they have and how much they can do together, when they once thought maybe they're butting heads with each other, but it's really not the case. I've seen it time and time again, where all of a sudden, each partner's doing, millions of dollars of deals, working through their issues together. And I think that's what's amazing about these events. And that's why we wanted to play this show today. Absolutely.
We've had an amazing feedback from some of the largest developers and construction companies throughout Europe visiting what we're doing. And we share what we do. And like you said, when you came, you filmed everything, and we let people take photographs. It can only better the industry for everybody. It's a tough industry on the MMC. There's lots of investment. There's many failed companies out there. And with our 137,000 square feet, we like to think, or we know with the feedback we've had, we're leading the way. And that can only be further advanced with that design capability. And that comes with help from others as well. So, I think the industry benefits from that collaboration.
Yeah. And you know what? You're building this factory, and it's not just for your own products. You're planning on working with others. Is that correct? To be able to use your system?
Yeah, we've got other companies coming in and really sort of using our product for different markets. So the hospitals, the schools, the high rise, and we've got the load bearing system coming in by the end of the year, which will be an HBC accepts approved. So we'll be able to go up to 18 meters without the concrete frame. And that's been proved very popular from a sort of a concrete podium on the first floor upwards. And that's proving we're quoting a lot of jobs on that. Just waiting for the accreditation to come through, probably by the end of October.
Sure. And so everybody understands this Uniwall system that Paul and British Offsite, the team over there, has developed. To put it in perspective, you can set all the exterior walls and interior walls, pour your concrete, and as soon as that concrete is cured, you're dried in on that floor already, below.
Absolutely. The single focus on this product was to deliver dry envelopes on concrete frame buildings quicker. What we do is change the sequence very slightly. On many floor plates, we can install the external panels, which would traditionally have been SFS. We're not storing those materials on site. There's less trades on site. We're fitting the boards, the insulation, internal and external, service ducts, the windows and doors, and vapor barriers, all off site. So those materials are not being delivered to site. We're not outloading them. We're not sending loads of trucks to site. We are literally putting the panels in. The floor is watertight once that slab is then cured. So slight difference in the sequence build. We're trying to educate people that this is the way forward. You'll get quicker buildings. You'll start your first fix quicker, and you'll finish your building quicker, which is what everybody wants, especially the bean counters.
Well, absolutely, especially the bean counters. But there's also a healthier home being delivered as well. One of the other things that you didn't mention was the MEPs are already kind of marked and cut into your panels, ready to go. I mean, this has really been thought out through and through. And I just love the fact that you could be on the 28th floor working, but people could be living on floor 1 through 10 already.
Absolutely. I mean, we're first fixing 2 floors below blue sky. So it works really well. It's been a tough process to educate people to reinvent their programs to suit the way we build, because we go up so quick. The first few builds that we did, it sort of took time for them to, oh, whoa, you're going a bit too quick for us. So the electrician, the plumbers, and the dry liners suddenly had to play catch up. Now the programs have developed. Everyone's aware of the speed at which this goes up. It'll increase the handover of the dry envelopes by sort of up to 30%, and increase the overall build time by the same potentially.
So you increase your speed to market by 30%, essentially, is what you're saying.
Up to about 30%, depending on the size of the floors, and whether we use unipanel and uniwall. Unipanel is the external version, and the uniwall is the internal compartmentalization, which carries all the accreditations and the approvals for sound and fire.
Yeah, and we're going to have a video coming up on that where we walk through the entire project with Shaun, kind of talking about how these panels are walked through, how they're set, so you can see it for yourself, how it all comes together. So it's going to be a lot of fun to show that for sure. Paul, man, listen, I know I lost my British Offsite tie that was given, well, British tie, it was given to me by Paul somewhere along one of our evenings out, or I would have been wearing it today. But we're going to get another one. Paul, we're going to have you and Shaun hopefully back on the show here in the near future to talk about that building we did our walkthrough. So if you're willing to, we'd love to have both of you back.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You guys can come back here anytime. You're more than welcome. We're at the Offsite Expo in September showing off all our products. So everyone from around Europe and the world are welcome there up in Coventry. That's on the 20th and the 21st of September. So we'll have a feature build there, a 2-story building. We'll have a virtual reality studio there, so you can look at our existing factory, our new factory, and where you stood at Barking watching the panels come in, you can stand there and virtually watch that happening too.
Come on.
And of course, don't forget the big opening of the factory next year. We'll be building panels in 15 minutes. Everybody wants to see that, Dave. Yeah,
absolutely. To include myself, and it's already been confirmed that I will be over for that. With the champagne.
Shaun's ordered a special champagne just for you.
It's on video, so he can't hide from that one. So I'll be expecting my invitation in the mail. Yeah. So this new facility is going to be quite amazing. It's 137,000 square feet. How much? What was the dollar investment on this?
It's 37 million sterling.
Yep.
So we'll quadruple our output, and we will double our staff numbers. There. So often people think robotics, you're going to lose staff. We're employing more people. Our output will be quadrupled. So we need more developers, more architects to come and see us. We need to fill that capacity.
Yeah, for sure. Paul, thanks, man. Appreciate you joining us today. And it's evening over there, so he had to stay away from his family for a few extra hours just to be on the show. So we appreciate that, and so does our audience. Let's leave it at this, Paul. We're going to have you guys back on. Don't go anywhere after the show here. We'll wrap up. But everybody else out there, stay tuned. We're going to be delivering some more of our interviews and videos that we did while we were on tour in London with Howick, Steel Horizon. So you're not going to want to miss that. I'm Dave Cooper. Paul Cashman, thumbs up, dude.
Thanks, Dave.
One of my favorite Englishmen out there. All right, Paul, stay there. We'll come back to you after the show. Everybody else, have a wonderful day. Bye now.